And Channel 3 is your election authority. The stage is set for tonight's final presidential debate showdown. President Trump and Democratic challenger Joe Biden will go head-to-head just hours from now in Nashville. Joining me to talk more about this is Margaret DiMauro, Communications and Media Science Chair at Post University. Margaret, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So obviously, this is the last presidential debate. Do you think that voters are still going to be tuning in tonight and want to hear what these candidates have to say? Or do you think most voters have really already made up their minds?
So the first presidential debate had roughly 73.1 million viewers. And that number doesn't account for viewers who stream the debate on digital platforms. So the number is actually a little bit higher. And to give you some perspective, the 2019 Super Bowl had 98.2 million viewers. So a fun fact there. That being said, I do think voters are interested in watching the debate and will tune in similar numbers to the first debate. Considering that the second debate was canceled and the first debate was a little bit messy, I think voters want to watch. It's their last chance to hear from the candidates before the election. I do think that most people have already made up their minds at this point about who they are voting for. Historically, presidential debates are necessary for voters to hear what the candidates have to say and their stand on key issues. But I'm not sure that they are the biggest contributor in swaying a voter if they are undecided.
Margaret, you talked a little bit about the first debate, calling it messy. There, of course, were a lot of interruptions on both sides. What changes do you think we can expect to see tonight after that first debate?
Well, as you said, the first presidential debate was very chaotic. It seemed very disorganized. We saw lots of interrupting. The candidates were continually speaking over each other. The moderator had a difficult time controlling them and keeping them on task. And I think this is why the Commission on the Presidential Debates added the mic muting option to tonight's debate. So with this change, I expect to see a much more organized structure, less interruptions, and the candidates not speaking over the other. And ultimately, this will allow viewers to listen more closely and critically to the information that's being given.
All right, fingers crossed that is the case. Much to be seen, though. And Margaret, before you go, tell us a little bit. There's been a lot of talk about Generation Z. What role do you think they could have in this year's election?
Well, I think Gen Z could potentially play a huge role in the outcome of this election. There are about 16 million Americans who have turned 18 since the last election. Many of them are voting for the first time, and their concerns are really unique to this generation. So I think they're going to really want to hear tonight the candidates discuss topics like climate change and race issues, because that is what they care deeply about. And we will see, hopefully they turn out and they vote because every vote counts.
That is for sure. It'll be an interesting night no matter what. We'll see what happens on November 3rd. Margaret DiMauro, thank you so much for your insight. We appreciate you being with us.
You're welcome. Thank you.